Like
What,
Broly
what's
has more character in here, and I feel like the way that the movie goes about it, like
whoa,
Broly's.
Whoa, that's cap. I think that's cap
No,
on
no, no,
that
no, no, no,
one.
no. Hear me. No, listen,
has
listen.
more character.
I don't know about that one.
Broly has a lot of no. Broly has more character here than he does in the later movies. That like in the later Z movies.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Super Bro. I'm like,
no.
Gun, like, whoa, buddy.
So basically, no. Let me just explain. I feel like it feels like the full Dookie Super Saiyan Goku.
I want to win more and more and more.
Oh yeah, it's the champ. Let's go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Plastic Power Podcast. This is Starblast Studios alongside Daredevil 19 and Champ Animations. I got my Omnitrix watch over here, and it just shut out. Okay.
Oh, I thought.
Come on.
I thought you just wanted to re-show it off. Well, we had to re-record.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, so today, guys, if you can't already tell, we're going to be ranking all of the 13 original Dragon Ball movies. Sorry, Dragon Ball Z movies. We're not going to be talking about Dragon Ball because we haven't seen those movies in a while, and we're also not going to be including the TV specials as because they're not movies.
Yeah,
I know that, but like we can definitely do a list later in the future, having this one saved and updating it to where this will like we end up putting these in like the certain placements where we feel not just as like because even though they're not movies, I feel like they're still like mini films. They kind of fit in there. But anyways, yeah. Starting off first, we're gonna go ahead and talk about Dragon Ball Z movie 1, that being called the Dead Zone. Where's the Dead Zone right here?
Find it.
Here it is.
Oh, it's right there. Yeah, there you go.
Personally, I feel like this movie is A tier. I wouldn't put it at S. It's like it's a good movie, but it's not like one of those movies that I felt was like extravagant. You know what I mean? But it's like one thing that stands out in this movie a lot is the Kikuchi score. We're kind of getting a cool little hybrid soundtrack between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and this just feels like such a prime when you watch the Japanese version in particular, it just feels like a prime loving fun Dragon Ball movie, like especially if you watch those movies like after Dragon Ball, the Japanese version and such. Definitely underrated, A tier, but for me personally, I'm not sure if I would put it at S tier. I know other people would put it at S tier, but that's what I think. What do you guys think?
I'd put it in the middle. I was never a big fan of the story, and I don't like when characters like get taken over by villains. So I never really liked Majin Buu or like people who steal powers. That's me though.
Wait, steal powers? When did that happen in Dead Zone?
I'm not saying that happened in it, but remember they took control of Piccolo.
That's the next movie. That's the next movie.
No, that's in the filler arc with Dead.
One.
No, that's in the filler arc. The Dead with after.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
arc?
World's Strongest, because that happens in World's Strongest with Piccolo. Piccolo gets mind control.
I was thinking that he got it mixed up with like the filler arc. Remember, like when still had Garlic Jr.
Maybe I am mixing it. I don't know. Maybe I'm mixing it up with both of them. I don't know. I just never really liked Garlic Jr. that much as a villain. I mean, yeah, he got like buffed up and was able to fight them because he was always really short. I'm like this. He's really short. Was he like 2 inches?
I feel like he's a much better character overall in the Japanese version of it. As a matter of fact, like I feel like when I see Garlic Jr. in the how he's portrayed, he reminds me of a villain from Dragon Quest. Which they definitely took inspiration from when creating this character and such.
He reminds me of like Pilaf. If Pilaf was like kind of strong.
They basically, more intimidating type of Pilaf. Yeah, absolutely. I can.
Well, all the Dragon Ball Z villains in some way are like a reflection of the main saga villains, like Janemba, Buu, the androids, like Super 13. That's kind of like a reflection of Cell. Like absorbing all the other androids.
And if you get up to Granola, the villains in that are kind of like Bojack.
And we can literally say that in the filler arc, what's her name, Marin, was like more, I guess for lack of a better term, a hotter version of Bulma.
Bulma.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think that's the only reason why anyone will watch the Garlic Jr. filler.
Yeah, the animators had a field day with that one.
I got 2 reasons why to watch it.
I got 4 reasons.
The Dead Zone one was never really one of my favorites. I always just thought it was all right. That for me, that's like the first two movies.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I like it because it's like definitely has that OG Dragon Ball feel where it's like, you know, it's a fantasy, very like, you know, martial arts. It's not the like, you know, big powerhouses about to blow up the universe kind of thing. It's very scaled down and has again like fantasy elements.
Well, there's
I love
still
the
pretty
animation.
decent stakes on there, yeah, especially 'cause,
Yeah,
like,
there's still stakes, you know, like, but it's kind of more of a modern, fun, like Dragon Ball story, you know, just with a grown-up Goku and you know teaming up with Piccolo. So honestly, yeah, I would rank it at A. To be honest, it's not like the 10 out of 10, but it's enjoyable when you watch it.
yeah, absolutely. Going to the next movie, Dragon Ball Z World's Strongest. This one, I know, like, so many people love this movie, especially, you know, the Ocean Dub fans. They like, I think, I haven't seen. It's one of those things where making this list is a bit like difficult. 'Cause I haven't seen these movies in a while, but part of me wants to put it at S tier, but also the other part of me that wants to be, you know, objective, wants to put it at A tier. So I don't know. I'm mixed. What do you guys think?
Yeah, this one I liked less than Dead Zone.
Okay. I'm starting to realize you don't like the movies a lot.
Oh no, no. It's just really those. I like the later, like after.
He
this.
likes the one with
Like,
Broly.
Nah, the next one I really is actually one of my favorites. Yeah, this one, like I said, like what I was saying before, I don't like the whole mind control type things with villains and stuff like that. But I mean, it is like original type Dragon Ball, so I see why you guys like it.
Yeah, that was
For me,
absolutely...
it's between A or B. I remember as a kid, I used to watch this film like a lot, like this and Dead Zone, just a lot because I don't know. It was just like the same reasons why I like Dead Zone. You know, it's not a huge like, you know, it's the villain, like the stakes are like scaled down, but it's still like original Dragon Ball. But I guess this is where it gets a little bit repetitive because the characters will, you know, the villains will be like, oh, I need to be the strongest, look for the Dragon Balls or something like that. I have this is where it starts to get into that stereotype of like, oh, big bad guy, and then here's these henchmen that Goku has to fight, and the other characters get beat up on. You know?
I just realized there's one thing about Dead Zone that is absolutely underrated and really fun to see. It's the fact that adult Goku is using his power. No, adult Goku using the power pole.
Oh yeah, that's another reason why I like Dead Zone. It's because he uses the power pole.
Like you never see him use that, ever again. Yeah. You know what? Screw you. I'm putting it at S tier. I want Dead Zone there. Oh, Sean's left. Okay. We'll still
he's like, he's like, let me know when you guys get to the good stuff.
Okay. Well, honestly, the like. Okay.
I just feel like with sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
I just think with World's Strongest, I think the villain's just he's just kind of boring, to be honest.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. He feels like the because there's two villains. You have like the robot, the big brain dude, which I forget his name.
Doctor. I was gonna say Doctor
Robotnik.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it Dr. Wheeler? No, I think that's someone else.
You know that's the dude from GT.
Yeah, but it's like it's kind of like a proto version of like Dr. Gero and like. You know,
but that's weird because that can't be a reflective thing from, you know, Dragon Ball Z, because the fact that like I don't think that they got to the Toriyama did not get to the Red Ribbon Army arc when they were doing this. As a matter of fact, there's more homages to the Saiyan Saga.
They did cover that in the original Kid, you know, Goku arc in the original Dragon Ball.
I guess
and
so.
He did
yeah.
have androids. He did have androids in that saga, so it might have been pulled from that.
They definitely took a lot of inspiration though from the Saiyan Saga, especially you can just see with the choreography, like, you know, it looks like, you know, the Goku using the Kamehameha versus, you know, Vegeta and the Gallic Gun.
Yeah. Not even that, but it's also they reused like character designs from the Cybermen with those blue little, I don't know what those are, like the blue Cyberman things, you know, that had like the
robots,
on.
the robots.
Yeah, the little robot things, like those were heavily inspired by the Cyberman. So
oh, absolutely.
I guess Yeah, so that I guess that's why the only problems I have with this movie, it definitely relies on a lot of things that came before, I guess, where like Dead Zone is kind of its own unique thing. Just a little bit of inspiration with the Goku and Piccolo team up, but other than that, yeah, it's fun to watch, but I wouldn't rank it any higher, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like Dead Zone is better.
Okay, so starting next. Okay, actually, you know what? Let me. If we're
He's
gonna
like,
put.
I'm not
Yeah,
moving it.
yeah, we'll just leave it right there. Okay, next up, Tree of Might. Where's Tree of Might?
Fantastic.
Okay, here's
That
my
was
thing.
a good-ass movie.
I actually recently watched Tree of Might last week. I liked the movie, but I had one problem with it. I had
Oh, here we
one
go.
massive problem with Tree of Might. Okay, the animation. Listen, the animation was good, but and Turles is a dope villain. I think he's cool. But
I think I know what you're going to say.
the way that it ended, it was one of those classic sort of, you know, like like fluke. It was a fluke win. The way that Goku used the spirit bomb and he launched it at Turles, like, at the very end. He just hits Turles with it out of nowhere. Turles wasn't even like, damaged, and then the entire tree also just breaks alongside. It gets destroyed alongside that. I just feel like, the way they could have built that up a little bit, a little bit better. I personally feel like it's a B tier movie, but everything about the animation in there is great. Seeing Gohan, go into the Great Apes like form again, like that was, like that was pretty cool. You also got to see, Haya Dragon in there for the very first time. Well, that's literally where they met, or as Icarus as they want to call it in the English dub.
They did that dance to Piccolo.
No, they don't do the
whistle.
dance in this one.
No, that's in Lord Slug.
It's the next one. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the thing, my whole
That
thing
shit
about
was
the
so
movie,
random.
I feel like what's weird. Okay, like, and this is a stereotype that you end up seeing with a lot of these Dragon Ball movies. Is these characters end up being so. They seem to be so protective and such when it comes to nature. Like these characters end up being like Captain Planet. That Goku ended up having a similar case with him in the Cooler's Revenge movie, which is like you're hurting people, and like the whole thing with the trees and the forest and to me that whole plot, I'm not the biggest fan of that whole thing, because you don't
protector.
The other thing that's weird about it, that I thought was weird about it too, is the fact that they literally use the Dragon Balls in order to fix up with the everything in the forest. But that's kind of and I get that, but that's kind of weird because shouldn't, if
Do
you're
that all the time though.
they would have had to have waited like a year or so again after the events of the Tree of Might in order to actually fix up the Earth, because of just how ragged it was. I would say that the thing that's cool about the movie is the fact that Turles definitely did the most he did a lot of damage to the Earth. Like, it wasn't just characters that just blatantly destroy. No, the way that he went about it was using the tree. It was sapping the life energy of everyone, and they're sort of suffering and such in the middle of that whole thing, and these buildings are getting destroyed. It was a slow process. There's actually, I feel like they focused on it a little bit more. You can definitely get a better sense of scale of just how horrific that event would have been if you were actually there and such. But I think that
Definitely a better villain than, what is it, World's Strongest?
yeah. Yeah, that I
I
definitely.
want to hear
too.
what Champ thinks. I want to hear what Champ thinks, because Champ is leaning more towards better than World's Strongest should be on the same level as Tree of Might.
I honestly
Go ahead, Champ.
Tree of Might, it's an interesting movie with, you brought up, Peach, the whole gotta protect nature and everything, when these powerhouses be damaging the planet 24/7, of how they have these fights. It's kind of weird how they kind of just going forward, after the Cooler movie, they just oh, let's go to a desolate wasteland, and then they just you look at now where they go to just making lava pits and the glacier just
because they're all about okay, we can just, whatever happens, we can just fix it with the Dragon Balls later. They're not so preachy about it with with whatever happened. And it's like I kind of would rather have that. I think that the weird thing about the film is just what the heck is Sean doing? I think that the weird thing about the film is like it's I guess maybe not thinking about it, it's irony. The forest gets burnt down. They want to go ahead and fix it. Then what ends up happening is that the trees, it ends up being the biggest problem. I guess like the tree was the thing that was in danger. Now it's the thing that's causing the danger.
Yeah.
I guess some weird poetic way.
Yeah, definitely they were going with that angle, but putting that aside, I think Turles, I think this is like the first time we kind of get a glimpse of what an evil Goku would be like, because after the whole after the whole experience, like Raditz fight, we don't really get an idea of what Goku's life could have been if he didn't hit his head, and this is kind of hinting of what path he would have go down, and you know. He has like his own little like, I'm gonna call them the Ginyu Force ripoffs, because I swear to God they continue that trope later on with a couple other movies. But like, honestly, I don't think Goku. Not Goku. See, I almost called him Goku Black because he is technically the first Goku Black.
Yeah, the personalities are very different. I mean, I think he would. Yeah,
their personalities are very different.
He's very
Goku
clearly
Black
supposed to be like, you know, if Goku didn't hit his head, this is just Kakarot.
Yeah.
But they changed his name with terms.
Yeah.
This is just savage Kakarot. Where Goku Black is the things, you know, he has like this whole god complex, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, he's like. Turles is not that complex of a character, but he does have a cool design. He has a cool fight with Goku, but I will agree with what you said earlier. He's like, the fight just feels a little bit too quick. Like it finishes off too quickly. Like it's just kind of like the climax is just kind of and the fights. But the fights with the Z fighters I do like.
Yeah,
with
was
Yamcha,
really
Tien, Piccolo when they step in and then Gohan turn into an ape again. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, but again, it does take a lot of. Yeah, it definitely retools a lot of things that were done in Saiyan arc, but it's still enjoyable. I still give it that. Like this was like one of the few movies I kind of wish was canon, you know, as a child. But you know, I give it. I would say. It's an A for me, to be honest. I don't know. It's still enjoyable. I'll go back and watch it and be like, yeah, I'm digging this. I think it's better than World's Strongest, to be honest. Maybe it's just because the designs is better, like for the villains, and it's just like.
Yeah, World's Strongest does have a better premise
and more stakes because the planet is literally dying, so it's kind of like, hey, we need to get rid of this apple. And
I feel like maybe they should be on the same level, and Dead Zone should be up there by itself right now.
That's what I'm
saying. You know what? I think that's more than fair. You can put let's put World's Strongest behind Tree of Might.
Okay, that's fair. We'll do that.
Okay. So let's hop over to the Slug of Lords.
Okay, Lord Slug. So this movie was also very fun. All right, yeah, Champ, you go ahead. Talk about Lord Slug.
Oh man, see, with this movie for me, it's like I'm very half and half on it because
me too.
Because I think there are some really good fights in this movie, like with Piccolo, Goku, and with Slug when he turns giant. But I'm looking at this and like, what the heck was that Super Saiyan thing? Like I understand because I understand that at the time when they were designing the Super Saiyan in the manga, they didn't really know how it was going to turn out. Like they didn't know what color like palettes they were going to use, you know? They just knew like from little notes from Toriyama that his hair was going to get spiky and he was going to have a yellow aura, but they didn't know what Goku was actually going to look like other than those details, you know? So I don't know, it was just kind of, it was out of nowhere. It wasn't no build up, and it was just like quickly forgotten about because Goku snaps out of it once Lord Slug, like I think he rips off his arm or something like that.
Yeah, well, he shows that he's a Namekian.
He shows that he's a Namekian. Goku's like, what? And it's just like, and then he just turns off the Super Saiyan. I'm like, okay, that was anticlimactic. But other than that, like, I don't know. I feel like if you just took that out of the movie, actually, if you take it out of the movie, nothing changes.
Yeah, you're probably right. Goku,
So
yeah.
what was the point of that other than just like, you know, advertising and marketing? They're like, oh, Goku.
As a kid though, I did mark out over the fact that we had an evil Namekian villain. Like that was cool to me, but it was just because I think I saw that before. Wait, maybe did I see that before watching Dragon? Yeah, I did. You know what? I did, but then I didn't realize until later just how much they really took from like, you know, King Piccolo and such.
Yeah, but I don't mind like having like an evil Namekian because we haven't gotten that since Lord Slug, to be honest. The only time we had a Namekian as a like antagonist was in the the Universal Survivor arc, where those other guys from the other universe, those other two Namekians.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was like the only time we saw anyone fight another Namekian, you know, that was like on the opposing side. But yeah, I will say Lord Slug is a weak villain because he's just, you know, copying Demon King Piccolo, you know, especially the whole I need the Dragon Balls to be young again and I'm going to go
he uses
giant.
the Dragon Balls and such to be young again.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's exactly how
yeah.
it went.
so
a
I
rehash.
don't know.
But you know
Yeah,
what?
it's
I think it's a fun. Here's what I'll say. I'm not gonna put it at C tier. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's just one of those like, you know, sorts of fun movies that you can just watch and enjoy. I do think. Here's what I will say. I do think it had a better ending than Tree of Might, at the very least, with how they finished him off.
Yeah.
Because Goku,
How'd they
because
beat him
Goku
again?
and Piccolo work together.
Spirit Bomb.
Goku, no. Goku also used the Kaioken times 100, which is something you never see him do in anything else.
Oh, was this the only time he used Kaioken 100?
It's the only time he did. You know, before I guess like they assumed that he would like bring up like the Kaioken thingamabob. I think that in that and of itself is cool, especially because of how he teams up with Piccolo in order to take him down. Gohan, I will say, is the most annoying thing about this movie. Like the whole thing about the whistling, I just didn't like. I'm with Sean on there. I did not like that as much, but I will take that over the, you know, the whole, you know,
That's
sort of.
so random how it started it off with that.
That
Oh,
also brought up,
sucks.
yeah, it's kind of like this whole weakness that Namekians like can't stand high frequencies for some reason, but it's never mentioned in like the main sagas or stories. So it's like,
So
where
what
did that come from?
Yeah. So what do you? Well, actually,
Yeah.
no. That's always been. Hasn't that always been true? Like because like Piccolo's
No,
always.
I've never seen that. Well, yeah, they can hear like from like
Really
they have really
well.
good hearing, but never having a weakness of where you whistle and they just like, oh God, turn it off.
I think that has to be like
I guess
some
it's
sort
like
of Journey to the West
implied.
reference.
I guess the writers like kind of imply that could happen, like a what if, but like I don't know that. And this is like what the third time Goku kills someone with a spirit bomb. Like, doesn't he like what he does it with World's Strongest, right? If I'm correct, right? Doesn't he kill?
I thought he ended it with the Kamehameha with everyone else. You know, in
Does
World's
he?
Strongest.
I don't remember.
I can literally
Yeah,
check.
I think it
I
was
can literally
just-
check right now. Hold on.
Well,
Because I feel like in the movies, I always remember like early Dragon Ball no, actually.
Oh no,
up
he did
until,
do the
like,
spirit bomb in that movie. Okay,
yeah,
no, you're
see,
right.
so he uses a spirit bomb again. He kills more of the villains in the
Three
movies than
movies.
in the sagas with the spirit bomb.
3 movies in a row with it, huh?
That's true. Okay. No. Okay. So basically, so what do we think? So Lord Slug
I
is
would
A
say
tier or
B,
B tier?
to be honest.
B tier. Okay.
B for
Yeah, I'd
bomb.
put it B.
For spirit bomb.
Yeah. Anything with spirit bombs going in B tier.
Fair enough. Fair
All right,
enough.
so what's next? Cooler?
Earth's, Super Saiyan.
The first,
yeah,
both,
Cooler's Revenge.
both Cooler movies.
Cooler's
The first
Revenge.
one-
die, not monkey soup.
As much
Yeah,
as many qualms as I do have with this movie, like with the Captain Planet thing, I think A tier personally for me.
Yeah, I'd put it up there too. It's one of my more favorite films. There is like a couple slow parts in it, but overall, it probably has one of the best villains from the movie. Yeah, the whole Captain Planet thing. I understand where you're coming
Piccolo
from.
is a badass
And
in
then-
this movie too, especially with how he fights Salsa I can't remember the names of the other
Salsa,
dudes.
yeah, and the other
The one that puts his head in his body.
no-namers.
Yeah, that dude.
And the green
Yeah,
dude,
he kinda
the
looks like a
discount
reptile.
Ginyu Force.
Yeah.
And then Goku's like out of it for a while until they get
Cooler
a sensu
Special
beam,
Squad.
which is fine. But yeah, I'd say we put it there.
I'd argue and put it in S tier because it's just really entertaining. Like, and I don't feel like there's a slow moment in the movie, to be honest.
We did. Now thinking about it, we did watch this when we visited in Florida. Yeah. So it's
yeah,
like
when we were at Jax's house, we like
That's
this
right.
was very. Yeah, there was. Of course, we watched the dub, so there was always Daddy, no. Daddy.
I mean, I could agree with the S tier for that one.
Okay.
I mean,
That
it's a
and it
good-
has one of
good
the best
debate
Super
for
Saiyan
it.
transformations, to be honest.
So, well, to be fair, it
opinion.
is a lot like how it is in Namek. Like even like the way
Yeah.
that the camera pans up to
But
Goku.
I do love
Yeah.
like the slow reveal of him turning Super Saiyan, and he takes the bird and he does the whole Jesus thing and like heals it. But dude,
Another
when he
Captain
looks up
Planet
and he's
moment.
like all battle damage, and he's got like that aura around him, and he's got like that like yellow, like that kind of cream hair look. You know, I don't know, the color palette of the hair just looks awesome. He looks up and his eyes are green and they shine. Dude, it's just so good, man. I love that. That's
And
like my iconic like besides the Namek arc. That's like, oh my god, that's what I think of Super Saiyan Goku. You can tell I love this guy. Oh god, Bardock also fell.
Guy's destroying all his figures.
He broke his neck.
I love it. He killed his father. Goku killed his father.
He unalived
and
his
then
dad.
What else is cool is you see Frieza's brother, Cooler, advanced into a new form that's stronger than Frieza's final form, and you're like, holy shit.
I
So
will
that
say
was
this
another
though. This
interesting-
is what I think of the form. It's like it's basically like another. Okay, let me ask you this: in terms of power
I
scaling
know what you're
here,
gonna say.
in terms of power scaling, what is the what does this form actually? What does this form actually provide? Because it's like I feel like
They just
you know,
made him bigger and give him a mask to make him look cooler.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
okay,
because
yeah,
it
they-
really
No
does not.
pun
It does not
intended.
surpass Super Saiyan. Yeah,
Yeah, it
it
doesn't
surpasses
Yeah,
Goku
it
and
doesn't,
Kaioken in his
so-
base form. But Frieza at 100%, he was able to rival
Frieza-
Super Saiyan Goku.
Yeah,
so
Frieza
that's
at like
interesting.
100%, like Frieza, like not even at 100% was stronger than Kaioken Go. I guess they're trying to say, like, I guess Goku is like stronger at this point, so that's why it's like, you know, Kaioken Goku would get taken down by like, you know, fifth form and such.
Yeah.
The other thing that's weird, and again, it's just because it's a movie, it's Toei doing it, not Toriyama. Like the fact that Goku wasn't able to tap into Super Saiyan the exact same way. I guess it's just because it's like they made this movie at the same time that the Frieza saga was like, you know, still being worked on. And
I think
so
when it was like wrapping up,
they didn't know that Goku would just be able to easily, you know, tap into Super Saiyan at whichever point. So that's why it went about it went like that. But yeah,
so
you know, it's still fun that way.
Yeah, I guess leave it on S for now. If we decide to switch it, we could switch it to A or something.
Okay.
Also, this
But-
movie ties in the special, the Bardock special, which we don't see any other movie tie in a special.
That's true. That's true. They did do that.
So
Interesting.
that's very interesting. They did that. Yeah,
Nah.
I give it S
so,
tier though. It's still good. It ties a lot of elements together.
Yeah, it is one of my more favorite Z movies. So now let's go to the sequel of this movie.
Cooler's,
This one's Cooler's Revenge.
or no, the Return of Cooler.
Yeah, the Return of Cooler, because he's returning, not because the revenge is because he killed his brother. So yeah, the Return of Cooler. This one I did not like too much. There was some good things in it.
TFS made it better.
Yeah. I didn't like the whole because Cooler like formed with Namek or something.
The Big Getty Star.
I
the
didn't.
Spaghetti
I
Star.
didn't. I think
It's
they
right down
kind
the
of
there you
ruined
go.
it. I think they kind of ruined it at the ending. Like it was pretty good until the ending reveal. I personally didn't like that.
What was wrong with the ending?
I just didn't like that. Same with the Goku Black arc. I didn't like.
Well,
how
why
it just
didn't you
took
like the
over,
ending?
Me?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand. Well,
Because he like formed with Namek and he was just overly powerful, and it's like, how are they gonna beat him now?
did he form with Namek? I thought he just got bigger and such, and then like Goku, like they figured out like the vulnerability point. Didn't like they get capped? Like
yeah,
Cooler
they
captured
eventually
them?
did. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they fought Cooler inside the Big Getty Star. I see. You know what?
Yeah,
I
it was
see what
like
you're
his
talking about.
brain. Yeah, it was just like his brain or his head or something.
Yeah, the
I just
Getty
didn't
Star
like
was
that
like,
whole reveal
yeah,
at the end.
it gave him the cybernetics and making him stronger, and then the
Yeah,
Getty Star
yeah.
was like on Namek, and it was kind of like Tree of Might. How it was like, I don't know if it was, I don't think it was killing the planet. Well, I think it was actually. Hell, I had like a, like it was like drilling into the core or something like that. I don't know. It was
Probably,
powering
yeah.
itself by the planet, so it was kind of reusing Tree of Might of where it's taking the planet's energy and powering the big spaghetti star, Mount
Yeah.
Spaghetti.
And and then both Vegeta and Goku. Vegeta went Super Saiyan in that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the
so-
first movie that Vegeta's in, and
Oh, yeah,
his
yeah,
first
that's
Super
right.
Saiyan appearance. Well, not
Yeah.
in the movies. In the movies.
But yeah, but both of them combined had no chance at all against him. He was just, I felt like he was a little too OP. You know?
I
yeah,
can
he
kinda
was
see
kind
that.
of he was kind of hard to take down. Honestly, I ranked this
Nah.
movie as a C, to be honest. C for
Ooh.
cooler.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's also the arts, well, art style animation is just a little wonky, and like if you look at the character designs for like Goku and Vegeta, it just feels a little off. Like if you stare at Goku when he's in his base form, just looking at Cooler, like I don't know, it just looks a little off.
Kind of like when Cell and Goku were fighting and it had some bad animation. Is that what you're talking about?
A little bit. It did have like some wonky moments in the animation,
Like
where
rushed. Rushed
a
animation.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I would rank it B or C too.
I would.
Well,
I'm
yeah, B or
honestly
C.
leaning more so towards B. So the thing I really like about this movie is just like I remember as a kid I was marking out over it, and I know it's mostly a lot of nostalgia over it, but it's like
Yeah.
this movie was just awesome. It's like seeing Cooler come back and it being like that sort of play with Cooler, like how they had Mecha Frieza. It was like they definitely took. I see where they took inspiration. I thought it was cool. I do think that I would put it over World's Strongest, as a matter of fact. Me personally,
Yeah, I would too.
I'd rather watch. I like this movie more. Do I like it more than Tree of Might? Yeah, I'd put it
That's
ahead
a
of Tree
tough
of Might.
one.
Personally,
It's a they're very
Really?
very similar-ish in a way, but not.
Yeah.
there
It's
is
also,
similarities.
I think it's also that Z fighters don't really do anything, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like
and it's
Gohan,
just-
Krillin,
yeah.
they just kind of sit in the spaghetti store watching Yajirobe about to get axed.
That's true.
Yeah, and there's
They don't
really
really,
no...
they don't really do anything in the story other than destroy those like
Yeah,
little
weren't they
cooler
hiding most of the time?
robots. Not the cooler robots, the like the beep
Yeah.
robots.
Yeah,
the
the ones
one
who-
with the
yeah.
claws. It's weird because he
Yeah,
has
they
two
were
robots.
like controlling the Namex. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one. Yeah, Namek. Oh,
And they were, like, hiding the
that
whole
begins
time.
this trend again of Namek getting over. Dude,
Alright,
can we
so-
give new Namek a break? Come on.
Okay.
All right, so next.
Next movie
Well,
here,
you're-
Super Android 13.
Well, this is the first time we see the Super Saiyan truck.
All three of them together. And actually, I'm pretty sure it was the composer for
Krillin
Dragon Ball
knew all
GT
about
that
it.
did the song, that did the music for this movie.
Oh,
I
really?
like this movie. Like, it's a
Yeah.
fun, like, action movie to me. Like, an action Dragon Ball Z movie. That I enjoyed. And I like how they brought androids back.
Yeah.
But it's not... Is it, like, one of the better or mid films or worst? I
This
don't
is the
think it's
movie
the
that
worst.
keeps spawning that spawned that this famous meme of Goku getting hit in the nuts. And if you actually
No, wasn't that
pause
Vegeta?
it at the
Or it was...
No,
Oh,
you-
yeah. it
no,
was
Vegeta
Goku,
got
yeah.
kicked in the nads in the last movie.
But-
This
yeah,
time
that's
Goku
right.
gets hit in the nuts. He gets punched. And
Right,
in
and you
the
can literally
frame,
see the
if you
impact
pause-
frame of like Goku's balls cracking.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, Champ, you're just in
But I-
slow motion right now.
I am. Oh my god.
I liked how it like started off too. They're all in the mall, and then Master Roshi is just being a perv. But then I love how the androids come in and just start effing shit up in the mall, and then that's when
Mhm.
Goku kind of leans them away from the city and the mall and everything, and then they start having their big battle, and then I just thought it was funny how Krillin knew all about the Super Saiyan triangle. It's like what do you know about that? But
I'm mad that this movie has like
This
it opens up with Dr. Gero getting beheaded by 17, and all the like Dragon Ball like there's like, okay, so what timeline does this take place in? Because it's like, oh, that does kind of have a continuity issue. Because if Jiro's dead, but why are the Z fighters not at Jiro's cave?
But technically, every Z movie isn't canon, so I never tried.
Oh yeah, I know
tried
that,
to
but
look
it's
at
like,
yeah.
but that
You can't
moment
really do
happened
that.
with the Z fighters. If you watch the anime and read read the manga,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like, well, okay, that's an
I have to
interesting choice.
acknowledge this. This movie has one of the greatest Vegeta entrances of all time. You know,
Oh,
like
just him appearing out of the eyes of
yeah.
nowhere.
yes.
He has another one too that we'll get to shortly.
Him and
But
Piccolo
yeah,
both were
that-
really badass in this movie.
Yeah. And this was the one Future Trunks is first in too.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, because like I said, we get the goddamn freaking Super Saiyan mother triangle.
Yeah.
Have you,
Sorry, I'm gonna
I
keep
love the
saying
dub
that.
though. The
Where do we
dub
put this?
with
Like
it.
S tier or A tier? That's the biggest question. I can't really think of
I would
any
say
problems I
A,
have with
more
this movie.
A.
Would I
Yeah,
put
and
it?
I
Would
did
you put it
like- I
above
did
Dead
like how-
Zone?
I did like how 13 did absorb like their chips or whatever to evolve himself into a more powerful android.
And then he looks like a big
Vegeta,
blue
he
Vegeta.
stole your due. I'll kill him.
Yeah, he did. And then he talked like this.
Don't you dare backsass
and
me
the
with
di-
your $30 haircut.
Don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut. Okay, you know what? No, I'm putting this above Dead Zone. I like this movie a lot more thinking about it.
Yeah, it was fun, and this is when Z was really at its peak too. So, like these are when the movies really start getting a lot of fun. So, yeah, let's leave it where it's at.
This was
and let's
also
move
the
on.
movie where, of course, Goku kills an enemy with the spirit bomb, but he does it in an interesting way where he absorbs
the
it.
spirit bomb, and it's like, bro, the animation, the shot of with him with like his gritted teeth, like my gosh.
Yeah, a lot of like.
It almost
raw
looks like
type
it's
moments.
painful for him too.
That
Like,
could be true,
he's-
yeah.
Having that much power, jeez.
All right, so let's go on to my most favorite Dragon Ball Z movie. This one, I personally I would put it on S.
cold.
And then we get this Mr. Satan's first movie too. He's trying to hide the
Satan in
bathroom
this?
vault.
No,
Yeah.
he's not in this.
Yeah, he is in BoJack Unbound.
We're talking about Broly, dude.
Bro, you
skipping
literally just sung the song. Is this it right here?
Yeah, that's it. That's
All right,
it.
well, this one I still put on S tier. It's one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z movies.
Okay.
And we get introduced to one
So
of the
weird. Why
frickin'
is it this poster? It's so.
best,
I don't know why they just had it with all the Z fighters and.
I'd put it
in the
above.
cover.
I think I'd put this above Cooler. In all honesty.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. There's a lot of people's favorite Z movie. I just didn't like how what pissed me off in it, but that's because I'm a big Vegeta fan. He was a straight up bitch when he found out what Broly was. He's like, "Oh my god!" And he was so scared to fight him. Yeah, he just like gave up. I'm like, bro, what the f is wrong
Vegeta,
with
weren't
you?
you talking smack earlier about how you wanted to kill this thing? Like now you're just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, his girth.
But you know what that did? I think that because Vegeta was at that state, it really did help out Broly just seem even more terrifying and badass.
Yeah. Which is what made Broly a more terrifying villain, because he really is like an unstoppable juggernaut type villain. And he was a scary villain. And it's funny, at first, he just looks like a very stoic, scared-looking person in like his base form.
Kakarot,
And
how
then-
much do you love your son?
This is also when Broly grabs Goku by the head and is just smashing his head through buildings and shit. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Was that Goku or was that Gohan? I feel like that was Gohan in this movie.
That was with
that
Gohan.
Goku. Was it with Gohan? Are you
Yeah,
sure?
because Goku
then they
doesn't get that
redid it.
treatment until later on with Super Broly with the
I
eyes.
thought they were doing that because he did do it to him. You know what?
I don't know.
Now
To be
I need
honest,
find
Broly
out.
like smashes people into buildings a lot in this film. Like he's just wrecking
he was
house.
just he was a straight beast. The one thing I didn't like is just he was just a goddamn psychotic psychopath that just what made him crazy was Goku crying next to him as a baby, and it's like, how the do you remember that?
Well,
Maybe
Because
Saiyans
Saiyans remember
more
stuff when
to
they're
it.
younger. The only reason why Goku didn't remember stuff was because he hit his head.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
it's more to that. It's more that Goku also rivals Broly in power, if you think about it, because they mentioned
that's true. Okay.
like Yeah. Goku as an infant had like a power level of like negative like 5 or some shit. But like it was also the fact that like Goku was like the only baby in that room that like I guess like upset Broly compared to the other Saiyans, and Broly we
And
all
then
know
they made fun of him.
This is
They
no.
made
This
fun
is
of
this is
Broly.
what happened.
Look, they
this
made
is
Paragus'
this is what
son
happened. It's not the
cry.
crying. It's not the crying that was the problem. And it is silly, but it's like it's what it makes Broly remember. Because basically Goku was the only baby that was sort of crying in that room, and then it was later that
Yeah.
Broly had dealt with, like, and it did, make Broly feel weird, but what happened, what made it even more traumatic was that, later he got stabbed by King Vegeta. He had all, like, those problems with it, and so basically Goku just triggers his PTSD. So yes, he should be mad at Vegeta. There should be more clones with him about that.
Paragus holds that grudge.
But
Paragus is more evil in this too, compared to the super version of him.
But yeah, just Goku presence is what triggers the insecurity, just by the association, and that in and of itself, like, is why. So it's not the crying that's the problem. It's the association.
There's more to it.
They
than
made
just the crime. That's where it gets memed on.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they made it the way they focused on it so hard in the movie. They made it seem like that's why Broly was going crazy and just wanted to kill Goku. But yeah, I mean that makes sense what you're saying. It brings up PTSD with all the things that happened to him as a baby. So,
And
but
it's kind of
yeah,
like it's fate, It's like Goku and Broly. Like I think they were born on the same day. No.
Yeah, they were.
So it was kind of like fate, to be honest. Like these two are like gonna be enemies forever, because it's just like, but because we know Broly was born with an incredible power level, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, nothing can phase this kid, and then here comes a low rank Saiyan baby that
Yeah.
just annoys the hell of him, and then all this bad stuff that happens to supposedly that's gonna even I think even Paragus says it like, oh, Broly could be an asset to King Vegeta and then Prince Vegeta, and he's like, nah, that baby gonna be trouble. Kill him, stab it. Go to that room and shake that baby.
Someone
I
first
like
midnight
when they-
so I can properly stab this baby.
I like when they first go to Earth and he's just stroking Vegeta's
Well,
ego.
okay.
Hey yo,
Thrills him so bad. Wait, where the hell were you going? He was stroking the hell out of his goddamn ego, like Prince Vegeta. We're the only Saiyans left. Please, we're rebuilding planet Vegeta. And Vegeta's like, oh, great, exactly what I was hoping for. But yeah, it was just
you
Broly-
can come along,
Broly-
Princess Trunks.
Broly was so evil too. I mean, Frieza kills him in the Super one, and in this one he kills his own. Well, not Frieza kills his father in the Super one, but in this one, Broly literally just crushes his father in a sandbox. To throw it after, like
Just
Jesus
throws him
Christ.
into the comet.
Nah, because I mean, Paragus was about to leave him because that planet was about to explode. But yeah, it was definitely one of the best C movies, and it's a lot of people's favorite, and mainly because of Broly, So,
Like,
what-
Broly
what's-
has more character in here, and I feel like, the way that the movie
Whoa,
goes
whoa,
about it, like,
whoa,
Broly's...
Whoa, that's cap. I think that's
whoa.
cap.
No,
on
no, no,
that
no, no, no,
one.
no. Hear me.
Broly
Listen.
has more character.
I don't know about that one.
Broly has a lot of... No. Broly has more character here than he does in the later movies. That like, in the later Z movies.
Oh, I thought you were
me and
talking about
Champ-
Super
me and
Bro.
Champ
I'm
feel
like,
like-
oh.
No,
jumped the
no.
gun like, whoa, buddy.
So
He
basically,
barely had
let me
character
just
development.
explain. I feel like there's still aspects
No,
of
I
this
know what
version
you're
of
talking
Broly
about.
that I like more than the other one, and it's because of the fact that the thing that I think really kind of drew me to like liking him as much as I did, like as a kid. He seemed to be more so of a victim of, like, all these it was a mental thing. I always wanted to see, a part of me like always wanted to see, this character of Broly be able to sort of overcome his trauma and not be such a dick. You know what I mean? But I think that he's a, like, I know that like, they paint him in such a way in which, he's like his unsympathetic, but I just felt like, he's a character that had a lot of potential that of other explanation that really wasn't tapped into with the other movies that came out.
Which is why Toriyama retcon his character and made him such a better character
I
compared to how he
that's
was in
and
Z.
that's what I liked about
Yeah.
it. But I also like the
Yeah.
fact that Broly here is much more unrestrained and much more badass, whereas the other one, he's like he basically has like a different sort set of circumstances that causes him where like he's not berserk in the same way. If you catch my drift.
I mean, Broly. Well,
I feel
we'll
like
get to that
he
bridge
went.
when we cross it.
Yeah.
But
Well-
I don't know. I just think that Broly in this movie is weaker compared to the new one because it's just he's full on.
'Cause he was, like-
he doesn't care about anything. He just cares about
Yeah. And wasn't he,
destruction
like,
and
cracking
killing Kakarot.
Wasn't he cracking dimensions with his power?
He
in
was
Super?
destroying galaxies. He blew up like the 10th galaxy or something like that. And
Yeah, and in this one,
and
he
King
wasn't
Kai's
doing
like
that.
Goku, like the galaxy's like disappearing. I don't know what to do.
All right, what's the next movie? Is
Bojack
it Second
Unbound.
Coming? Okay, so
Yeah,
this
now
is what
we're
I
at
was
your favorite
talking
movie.
about. This one I'd easily put on S tier. This is, to me, this is like one of the most fun Z movies, and I loved how they did the villains. Everybody had like their own person to fight, but they were just super powerful. That's why they kind of bring
Trunks is
back
awesome.
similar villains.
Mhm.
Oh hell yeah, Trunks. Everybody loved Trunks in this. This is probably
Yeah.
one of Trunks' best movies. And then, as you were saying with Super Android 13, Vegeta and Piccolo once again had one of the most badass intros into the movie, just like with Super Android 13.
I will say I don't think that I feel like Bojack was not as cool of a villain. I think as cooler in Broly. He like this is one of those cases
Yeah.
which like I feel like seeing characters really you get to see a lot characters shine. It's like he's not as cool as like the current characters. Also the fact that Goku came from the other world to help out Gohan, like that was dope as well. I think my only qualm that I have with this movie it just doesn't that's like that is the fact that Gohan for some reason just wasn't able to turn into a Super Saiyan 2 again after the Sean just left. Gohan wasn't able to turn into a Super Saiyan 2 again, like for some reason wasn't able to really trigger it until he got that sort of motivation and such from Goku. But it was a dope movie nonetheless, and it's
Yeah.
like it was to me. It was a really fun watch. I think.
Yeah, I think Bojack just as a villain falls a little bit flat. Just kind of feels like the buff, very strong villain that has a second form kind of thing. But I think as when you look at like the actual like unique setting where it's like it's like this intergalactic tournament, which is surprisingly did that before we went into Super. That's hilarious. With all the different aliens that came in for this like multi-tournament thing. And I honestly like the fight. The fights on these are very cool. I like the fight with Trunks and Tien. I don't think that's talked about a lot. Like how Tien was able to go 1-to-1 with Trunks on base form. Does it make sense? No. But honestly, power.
No, it does
scaling,
make sense. Trunks was holding back. That's the only thing that happened.
Yeah. Well,
Whoa! I just come in here and I hear F words getting thrown around. What's going on
we're
here?
talking about the fight between Trunks and Tien. How it's just like really cool, but does it make sense in power scaling?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
honestly really fun and
Did he
entertaining.
wait? Did he win Super? Yeah, because he went Super Saiyan.
Yeah, he went Super Saiyan, and then he just completely just wrecked
Yeah,
Tien's
yeah.
crap. But like, honestly, dude, anyone else get like PTSD watching Gohan take on multiple enemies in Super Saiyan in the destroyed town? Because every time I see that when he's fighting those other like Bojack henchmen and he's getting like double teamed, I'm like, oh god, is this the history of Trunks again?
Oh my
Is he gonna
gosh.
lose- Oh my god, he's gonna lose an arm because it
Yeah,
almost
he
makes
was.
you like get like a little bit of like, oh, maybe this is how Gohan fought the androids when he was a kid. Maybe this is how it went down.
Maybe.
I mean, they were trying to show you very similar to when he was fighting Cell with the Cell Juniors. That's what it reminded me of when the Cell Juniors were like beating everybody up, and Gohan's like, "No, I don't want to. I don't want to
No,
unleash
Daddy."
my full power." Yeah, pretty much. And then like Goku's like spirit form comes in, and he's like, "Gohan, stop being a bitch." Shit, full power. But when he does hit that, and they're trying to hit him with that wire move, and he just like breaks them all and just walks through them. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
god, here we go. And then he just destroys them, like how he destroyed all the Cell Juniors. But
I also love that we get to see Gohan in the the orange and blue gi before Boot Saga in this.
Yes,
Like that,
yes,
I
yes.
wish he would wear this more, to be honest, because I love
Yeah.
him in the blue and gi. I also love him in the purple gi, but I like it more when he has like the red sash and the bands. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a combination of Piccolo and Goku's outfit, but you know.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised
Honestly-
that Figure Arts hasn't made a figure of this by this point.
I'm surprised too. Maybe
I'm surprised
now.
that Beast Deities or Demonical Fit hasn't made one
well,
yet,
think-
and they
well,
have
think
the
about it.
sculpts to do it.
Think about it. We're getting the 3.0, I guess, of Cell Saga Gohan. I mean, they got to retweak a couple things, then they can do it as like a San Diego Comic Con or something, or New York Comic Con. But yeah, to me, this is one of the best Z movies, and just deserves to be on S. But as you said, Starblast, Cooler, and Broly are much better villains. The villains as a whole, it was a really fun. Out of all the group villains, I think this was better than like Super Android 13's group of villains and such. And I always liked the guy with the sword from BoJack's crew, and I love that fight with him and Trunks, but it just went so quick, and I'm like, damn, he already killed him.
He
So I
was
wanna see them
basically
fight
the way
more.
I see it. This character was supposed to be like a prelude to like what Bojack was able to do because he basically had his own big green muscular, sort of
Yeah.
form that he had going on.
Well, they all could do it besides.
I think
Like
I think
the-
it's hinted at
the
they all can do it,
telepathy
because not like
guy.
these
Bujin,
super
Beto, and
soldier
Zanya
pirates or
didn't do
something.
it.
Are you sure the
Yeah, they
other
didn't do it
guy?
for some reason.
Yeah,
but
I don't think the girl did, and not the mind dude, the telepath dude. The
the
other
girl
guy
wasn't
didn't do
able
it?
to do it because BoJack killed her. But I think it's
Oh,
hinted
yeah.
that they all can do it, like kind of implied they can all can do it. I guess, but I guess some
No.
just chose not to. I don't know.
And I gotta admit, BoJack does have a pretty cool entrance. He's like, "It's been a long time since I snapped someone's neck." Then I'm like, "Oh, that's so corny," but it works. It works with it. Champ, wait till you get to Granola arc. You're gonna be like, "Holy shit, these are the BoJack crew." Wait till you get to
Oh, okay.
it.
Yeah, they did. They definitely took a lot of inspiration for like. some
Yeah,
of the
they
villains
even
in there.
have like the same transformation thing too. You'll see. But what's the next movie?
Next one
Broly's?
is Broly's Second Coming.
Okay.
He's coming.
This is the last Broly movie that was good until we get to Super.
I would.
de-
I would personally
Definitely not S, but it was. I would think A. And then it is cool. I think this was one of the only times we saw father sons doing Kamehameha all at the same time.
Yeah.
That-
So
In this
basically,
movie-
you know what? You
In
actually.
this movie, Trunks pisses on Broly.
That's right. I was like, what the hell? But it was funny. And this is Vidal's first movie appearance too, I believe.
I wouldn't put this movie on A tier. I'd put this at high B personally.
Mm-hmm.
Just because,
I
like,
could go with that, yeah.
the thing that I don't like about how they tackled Broly here in this film is the fact that they just did not give him, like, he just was reduced to like only being able to use a few words, and that's it. I
He
don't
was
know
like a
what-
Hulk.
Yeah, it's just like he's like Kakarot,
Yeah.
Kakarot. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why is that the only thing
I
he
mean,
can say now?
He did beat the living hell out of Gohan. Beat the holy shit out of him.
Yeah.
So I felt bad. And Gohan barely had backup because no other Z fighters. I think one showed up or two. Didn't Krillin show up?
Krillin showed up, but he
as
was in
Piccolo?
Piccolo's outfit for some reason. I don't know
You're
why.
like,
I
"It's
don't remember
Piccolo."
why.
And
he
I was
did
like,
it.
yeah, that was
what
weird.
the hell is this?
I was like, just give me Piccolo. Why you blue balling me like this, bro?
Yeah,
What-
because
what are you doing?
Piccolo didn't show up, right? Yeah.
None of the other Z fighters like Vegeta, Piccolo showed up. It's weird they didn't utilize those characters.
Yeah, like, oh, because Goku isn't there. They don't want to help out Gohan. You know, Piccolo at least would have. Whatever. But it wasn't one of the best ones, but it was still definitely a decent Broly movie because we have a trilogy of them, and we'll get to that last one.
I think when Gohan comes
Some
in, it
point.
really ramps up because the beginning's kind of slow, to be honest.
Yeah.
But when
And-
Gohan comes
and
in,
wait. They find him Broly in the ice on Earth too, right? And it's like, how the hell?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's
wait,
another thing
yeah.
because Goku puts a hole in his chest, but then he somehow flies all the way to Earth, and then he's like frozen.
The plot of this
I-
movie just doesn't make. They just wanted to bring back Broly
Yeah.
for like whatever because
Yeah.
because of how
Yeah,
popular
yeah.
he was. That's really
And they're
what it
like,
came
let's
down
just
to.
get into it. Yeah, they're
But-
like, let's just get into it. Here we go.
But
let's
that,
make
but
him
that
more of a mindless
family
monster.
Kamehameha, that is pretty
Yeah.
good.
I will
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like Sean, you tackled it like perfectly from the very get go. What it really was, because people thought that Goten had actually used the wish from the Dragon Balls in order to like bring back Goku, and that clearly
Yeah.
this is not did not work in that way. It's basically was supposed to be like an homage to like the father son
The Cell
Kamehameha type of
Saga.
moment.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
what's weird is like the Dragon Balls like ended up dispersing at the end, which that whole thing was weird. So it just
Yeah, because
leaves...
Shenron didn't even pop out. That breaks out the whole.
Yeah.
That breaks the whole lore of the Dragon Balls. Shenron's supposed to pop out, and you don't just say, "Oh, I wish." You have to summon the dragon first.
Yeah.
And even
You can't
during
just
Namek,
make a wish when you have all the balls, and then the dragon comes out.
You
Don't take
can't
that out
really
of
hide
context.
it, especially with them being that close. They would notice it in the sky, like how they did on Namek during Frieza Saga. So.
Because
But
the sky even goes dark too, and I'm like, did Shenron get something?
No,
Like,
I'm
what's
sure
going
the sky only really went dark anyways because of like how how Broly's energy like affects the atmosphere
on? Oh yeah,
and such.
that's true.
possibly okay. Yeah, so maybe not that it happened. But what's the next one? Bio Broly? Everyone's favorite.
So I think that this movie is very underrated. I think a lot of people don't.
This is Broly's
Cat.
best
I'm calling
form
Cat.
in some like green blackish goo.
I'm putting this at D, man. This
D.
is garbage.
Yeah, put it all the way at the bottom. Burn that one.
I don't even remember. I think this is the movie I
hated
watched
this
the
one.
least as a kid, and I
only
haven't
watched-
watched it since.
Yeah, it's like this thing is just a hot pile of garbage. Throw that shit in the garbage with another film. But yeah, that's the worst Z movie ever. Well, probably the worst Dragon Ball movie, period. That was such a bad movie. I know they wanted to bring back Broly. They brought him back in the stupidest way. And then it's just Trunks and Goten as kids trying to fight him. And who else was in
Yeah.
it? Who was...
Krillin and
It is
Android
funny
18.
though that this
Yeah, yeah,
movie,
okay.
the way that this movie does take, okay, Dragon Ball Super Superhero, which is a great movie. We'll get into that later. They did actually take a lot from this movie, and they took the entire concept and made it good. That's what I will say.
The
I
whole
will say
cloning
that.
thing, or like making a super powered like
Yeah, the thing
thing
with
in a lab.
Cell Max and such. Cell Max was
Yeah.
basically like kind of like what they did. I actually thought for like a little bit that the villain was going to end up being, like I remember when we didn't know that the big villain at the end was going to be Cell Max. I thought that it was going to be like another Bio Broly. But like it would like but it was gonna but not like the way that they did it here. The concept was that you have like a Z Broly. You have a Broly that behaves more like Z Broly. He's not all goopy and such. And then you have like the other Broly, which was on Beerus's planet, who is like sort of calm version. So you end up kind of having like Z
That's what
Broly,
you
but
thought
not being.
in
That's what I
Superhero?
for a small bit of time I did think that they were gonna do something like that. For the Dragon Ball superhero movie and such.
I didn't, because I had it spoiled.
Yeah, well, this was before the spoilers were even out for that type of thing, anyways. But yeah, I'll talk about. We'll get into that later. Yeah, but this
Nah.
Bio Broly as a movie, like I honestly thought that like if they were gonna bring Broly back in this specific way, it would have been cool. But then he got all goopy. That's where they really like sort of took away all like all
Dropped
of that
the ball, yeah.
potential because Broly really just only became. I wouldn't even say like
Like
a
a
mere
goopy
image or a
monster.
shadow. He just it's like
Yeah.
it's like Broly took a shit, and that shit ended up being the villain of this movie. That's what this is.
Exactly, yeah. It was like the Blob with Broly stuck in him. Yeah, it was just so stupid. So let's stop talking about it. Let's get to the next one.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. What is the next movie on here?
What do we have? I think we have Wrath, and
we have Fusion
right?
Reborn next. This is a good movie. This is
Yes,
such
it
a
is.
good movie. Oh my gosh, I would put.
Dun-dun-dun. Wait, no, actually, that's the other song. The
Bro.
dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I did like how
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Pycon was in it. I didn't like Janemba's first form, where he's like a big fat baby. Then he turns into the proper Janemba.
Let me see
but it
here.
was
This
cool.
is this movie's certainly S tier, but I don't know if you. Put
Oh yeah,
this,
that's S tier.
But where do we?
That's
But
S
where in S tier? I'd put. I'd put it.
I
I
wouldn't-
think I'd put it ahead of Cooler. I'd put it ahead of Cooler. I think. What do you guys think? Would you put it ahead of Broly?
I was more entertained with it than the Cooler movie. I wouldn't put it ahead Broly though.
Fair enough. Yeah. Gosh,
This is I remember the biggest scene that I remember from this, like the most badass scene, surprisingly, is not just the Gogeta like wrecking ass on Janemba, but it's
Oh, yeah,
also
we get
Gohan.
Gogeta.
Gohan one punching Frieza, and I want to see that in the next arc. Damn it!
Yeah, because
I want to see Gohan put some hands on Frieza. That was awesome.
probably
I'm like,
will
yeah,
fight.
you can't mess with Gohan anymore. Then Resurrection F happened, and oh my god,
That was sad.
I'm like, this
Yeah.
is the biggest downgrade of the biggest. Like, dude, Gohan just like seeing his old like tormentor, like someone that like almost killed all the people he knew, and just be able to one shot him and just smile and joke about it was so satisfying.
You
It's
bringing
like,
that up
This
reminded me of what Jordan told us, how Gohan, this was like all speculation that he had PTSD from the Ginyu Force. That's why he did poses.
Yeah. You know, this honestly, I will say there's one thing I do really wish that this movie had more of. I love the music in this movie. And I think that some of the dialogue that they went about with Gogeta is great. I want to keep that in there. But for the rest, I wish that the rest of the script didn't have all these dub changes. It was more accurate to the Japanese version. Like, I'm sorry, I love the
Yeah,
scene
but
with
they
Gogeta.
did that a lot.
Yeah,
in
they
Z. They
really
did that
changed
a
up a
lot.
lot of the fact, and it's like, you know, Vegeta, like there's literally like a scene at the end of the movie where Vegeta's like in the subtitle where he's like, I never want to fuse with you again, and like, but then in the dub they change it to where it's like, I had such a good time fusing. Like, what? He's
Well,
the
yeah, that's right. And they do kind of touch up on Vegeta not wanting to do fusion again and Super Broly, but this did have one of the coolest villains though. I'll definitely admit that. The baby
Janemba was
form of
awesome.
Oh, I was talking about the baby. Just kidding.
Huh?
And then
What are you talking? Hold on, we're talking about
when he was like a big. I know when he was like a big baby at first.
yeah, he's talking about his
that.
first form, the big yellow marshmallow
Yeah.
dude.
No, but the best
Yeah,
villain in this
yeah.
movie was Hitler.
Yeah, they bring Hitler back from the dead and Goten and Trunks.
I
end
still
up beating
can't
him.
believe that they have him in this movie. It's like, of all the things.
Of all the things that Gotenks could have fought,
They-
you had him fight
It should have been Cell.
Adolf Hitler. That was a whole
Cell.
gag moment.
The dub made it even better. Like, ooh, blonde hair, blue eyes. I should be recruiting them.
Oh, that didn't age well.
Yeah.
That is
And also something I loved about this, PyCon was like featured really big in it. So it's like, oh, all right, so we got a little more PyCon because we only get him in that one filler arc.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully, I doubt he'll be canon ever, but it would be pretty cool. But yeah, it was cool watching him and Goku try to team up and fight Janemba. And obviously they couldn't do it. And then PyCon had to hold him off as Goku was trying to get Vegeta to freaking fuse with him. Vegeta's being complicated.
That reminds me of another line that they had in the Jap. So basically, Gogeta said, "Don't worry, PyCon, I'll get him for you." But then they changed it they changed like the order of like when Gogeta introduced himself, you know, in the movie to like, "I am neither Goku nor Vegeta." You know, he does say that later in the Japanese, but it was differently placed. Like, you know, the scene where Gogeta said, "Every force you create has an echo. Your own bad energy would be your undoing." That wasn't in the Japanese. As cool as that is, it's not in the Japanese. That was when Gogeta actually said, "I guess Goku and Vegeta together, that makes me Gogeta." That's
Yeah. But yeah,
I still
definitely
get
one
chills
of the
to this
better
day
movies.
when that first fusion happened.
And the
with
music
Gogeta.
too. The music was just so good. I'm sorry. It's like I can't, like, when I listen to like the soundtracks back to back, I always have to go with the dub soundtrack. It's so good.
I mean, the
The dubs had a lot of good soundtracks. Like the original Broly movie had like Pantera in it, and you're like, what the?
But also the scene,
Yeah.
I will say this is the best scene ever of Goku turning Super Saiyan 3. There has never been a scene in any other form of Dragon Ball media that's been better than how Goku did. It surpassed the original scene where Goku first went Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah.
It actually made Super Saiyan 3 look like it was useful for something.
I mean, it was useful. He took down the first form Janemba too.
Yeah.
It's like
that, and he was actually putting up a fight with the other form of Janemba. It's just that Janemba had this new ability where he could teleport. That caught him off guard, and Goku's Super Saiyan 3 power was, that was draining him. So, even though
this is Yamamaro at his peak with the designs and such here of this movie, like the way that all the characters look. It's such a shame how modern day Yamamuro is, like, and how it looks like. You have he went from having the best designs for Dragon Ball to the worst designs I've ever seen for Dragon Ball. Like the way that they all look in Dragon Ball Super with that shiny style and such, and that sort of like the eye catchers too for Dragon Ball Z Kai. It doesn't look
90s style was so much different to how it is now.
But the other thing too was the whole color theory, like the color for the skin tones of characters at this point in this. It looks a lot better like with how they went about it. Like I don't know why they changed the color of the skin tone and make him all shiny.
I think another factor, and not to cut you off, but it's also these movies were hand drawn as well. So when you're switching to digital, it's going to have this weird like.
Well, no, digital was hand drawn. You're talking about tradition. You're thinking traditional, like the way that they.
Yeah, I'm talking about traditional hand drawn, like on paper, and then they had oh god, what is it called? Like cell shades. Oh god, it was like because you have. If you look up animation, they had like that background, and then they had like all these like I don't want to like plastic sheets where they would draw the character over, and that's how they were animated. I'm like drawing a blank of it right now. What was it called? I think it might be cells.
Basically, like because of how they went about it that way, that's why like the modern day like that sort of like time for Yamamuro. Like just looked so good at that point. You're basically saying that's one of the reasons why it looked that good. No, I get you.
But like if you look at Super Broly, like that design like almost feels like 90s animation, like or not art style. I'm talking more about like the art style because that's what you talk about with the glossiness of Super. How it makes everyone look like they just got grease on them. That shininess.
They're just sweating all the time. Wow, it's so hot here.
So. I think it's multiple things that like change with the animation industry with how technology evolved and different tactics of how they drew and animated things. So that's a big reason why Dragon Ball doesn't look like how it did in the 90s. It's just
because it's not
technology
it's not
they're using different like color theory, like you said, like. It's multiple things.
Well, you know what it is? Yeah, with digital,
I don't think it's as much as the fact that technology. Here's what I think. I don't think as much of technology is an aspect, I think, to why the changes and such were made in that specific way. But me personally, I don't think that technology should be like a thing where if you use your eyes and you look at it, you would say, okay, well, this kind of looks weird for Dragon Ball. How do we use modern technology to make this look a little bit more classic? You would think that would just end up being the case. Like it ended up being very criticized and such for those reasons. And it was basically Yamamuro trying to sort of take the older techniques and put it into modern day stuff. Why can't you just look at that and see well, that doesn't work nearly as good as it does today as it used to back then. Put the pride to the side. Come on now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have like a separate podcast episode just talking about the animation.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you guys done it already, but I like to join in on that.
No, we did not.
Yeah, we need.
You're acting like you ain't a member of this podcast. I want to join in on that. You're obviously gonna be there.
I don't know because I don't know if you already talked to
I want to do that.
Danny about this before. So
I think we only did like 10 or 15 episodes without you or something like that, right?
Well, I don't know. I didn't go that far back.
No, the only thing we did with Danny was the media, Dragon Ball media, like the DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS. Yeah,
I think and then we also had him on for Godzilla.
Yeah, but Dragon Ball related.
Yeah,
we should do a whole episode about animation art, but. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Moving on. We all agree.
To the last.
Future Reborn, S rank?
Definitely S rank. Definitely S rank. Do I put it over?
So let's talk about Wrath of the Dragon.
Hold on. Before we talk about it, let me just help me figure out where to place this so I don't have to hold my mouth.
Put it in the middle. Put it in the middle.
Okay, put it right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice. So now let's move on to Christmas Wreath of the Dragon.
Okay. Well, let's talk Wrath of the Dragon. Okay, so what a good story that they had here with Tapion and such, and I don't know where exactly they got the inspiration from. Yeah, I don't know where they got.
I feel like they got it. No, I feel like they got his inspiration from something else Toriyama did. Cause he remember I was talking to you, Heish, and asking you where this character's from, and he looked a lot like Tapion. I feel like that's where they drew the concept
Chrono Trigger.
of. Yeah, that's where, because he has a sword, similar hairstyle. That's where I feel like they drew the concept from.
I
No,
think that and
absolutely.
Link from like Legend of Zelda. Yeah, you can see a little bit of like Link, especially when he's playing with the little.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
like
flute thing.
Ocarina of Time. They took inspiration
Yeah,
from
it's a
that.
lot like
Yeah.
Ocarina. So, there's definitely, but yeah, there's inspirations from other works there. But I really
And
like
then
Tapion's like story in this. I just think, for me personally, the final act, it just kind of
yeah,
it's iffy.
yeah, it was just like a big doofy villain. First, he was chopped in half. I didn't like the whole villain thing. To me, that brought down the film. Um, but yeah,
But I
everything
did
else was
like
pretty
seeing
cool.
Trunks and sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But I just
Yeah,
want
the
to
whole
say I
sword
did like
thing.
seeing what Tapion and Trunks' relationship in this
Yeah,
because
and
it
the
just
whole thing with his sword.
yeah.
Even though it kind of didn't make sense with future Trunks, but it's like whatever, I'll take it.
But there was one thing I don't like about this movie, and it's not the movie itself. It's the fandom. A lot of people got confused thinking that, oh, Trunks got Tapion's sword. Put a little bit of thought into that and think about that for a sec. How on earth would Tapion had met Trunks in his older timeline and then gave him his sword and have that everything go back? That's not how the
That's
timeline
because
works.
people, yeah, but
Yeah.
people keep trying to act like it's canon. These were never canon, so you can't put them as any type of canon. Yeah, they tried to throw a little Easter egg type thing in there, but you can't say that's from Z, the canon. It's not.
Wrath
That's
of the
the whole thing
Dragon.
with the movies.
It's one of those things though where I feel like Wrath of the Dragon fits in. Wrath of the Dragon and Bojack Unbound really do fit into the timeline the best, better than a lot of these other Dragon Ball movies. I think,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm,
like
no.
just because like you can say, okay, Wrath of the Dragon takes place, after the Majin Buu saga, before Battle of Gods. Bojack Unbound took place, between the Cell saga and the Buu saga. Perfect.
Yeah.
They really are like good movies, and we do know for the fact that just because of the Future Trunks special, there was an episode and such after, sorry, not the Future Trunks special, after Trunks went and destroyed the androids, he went back to the main he went back to like the main timeline to tell everyone, hey, I just beat the androids, thank you so much for your help. So that does fit in. It makes perfect sense why Trunks is there in the first place. But
Yeah.
the long hair doesn't make sense. I mean, he didn't have the long hair when he went back, but I mean, hey,
No, but he should have kept that
He
because
should
that
have
made
kept
him
it.
look badass.
It did.
That was
Absolutely
peak
did.
Trunks design.
100%.
I'll
And
take
then that's when
sleeveless
he-
jacket Trunks than
That
blue.
yeah, that's when he comes back as
skinny
the Taunts and
Trunks.
Arts one that we're getting, right?
No, because he didn't have this new Taunts and Arts ones doesn't have the jacket.
It doesn't have the. No, but he's talking about the sleeveless one, right? He's talking
Yeah.
about sleeveless?
No, but
It's
didn't
supposed
Trunks'
to be-
jacket? No, didn't Trunks' jacket in Bojack Unbound not even have any sleeves? But he still had a jacket.
Yeah,
you're
that
thinking
one
you're mixing
didn't.
it
Yeah.
up between a jacket and a tank top.
Yeah, this one has the tank top, but
Yeah,
he
he
does
o-
have the sleeves on the jacket.
No,
The
he doesn't
figure.
have a jacket at all. He doesn't have the tank top.
The Taunts and Arts
What
one.
are you?
Hold on. I'm talking about the Taunts and Arts figure.
I know, but I'm saying that the Taunts and Arts doesn't have a jacket. He has a
It has
jacket
a
removal
jacket
accessory.
He
accessory,
does.
but
Yeah,
it's like him
he
taking
has
it
the
off.
jacket removing. He is wearing a tank top though.
yeah, but he doesn't have a jacket. Okay, let's move on. Let's
Anyway, let's continue. All right, so now we're gonna jump into everyone's favorite movie. Now, well, this movie we feel like was very underrated. A lot of people do give it hate, but if you look at it, I feel like it's
This is from a film perspective, dude. Like, this is honestly one of the most top tier movies. Like, bro, the effects that they had too when it came to the Dragon Balls, they got moving stars in it too. Like the way that they showed like Grandpa Gohan and such in this film. Like when do you ever get to see like this much depth into Grandpa Gohan's character like at all? Like,
and
they
then
really
how
did a
he
good job.
smacks a
in such.
fly, smacks a fly right
He
into
smacks
Goku's
a-
mouth.
Yeah,
I
smacks-
mean,
like
come
bro,
on.
that's like
You don't
classic
get to
martial
see
arts
that in
training right
anime.
there.
And they're on tightrope and shit.
Also, not to mention the fact that, bro, we get to see Goku in school and fight off bullies and slide his head on the top of cars and such when doing that with so much swagger. Like, when do we ever get to
And
see
then-
Goku
yeah.
like that?
And he gets bullied all the time, and he's so emo. Nah, this is going down with Bio
This is
Broly.
the
Get that trash out of here.
No.
No,
No.
this
I
is
feel like putting.
trash
I'm sorry.
for-
Hold on. No, putting this alongside Bio Broly.
Oh god.
It's like it's.
Oh,
that-
there is there another. What? Wait, why is
Nah,
C
he's
below
moving-
D?
My bad. My
Wait, what?
fault.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Let me.
Are you trying to add a new?
Technically, I
new
hated
row?
both those movies were trash, to tell you the truth. They're both. Oh, you just
Yeah.
added a new one. All right. So yeah, throw Evolution down there.
Yeah.
Horrible
Dookie.
casting.
Call it the
Besides the guy
Super
who played
Saiyan
Piccolo.
Dookie level.
I'll admit the guy who played Piccolo, it wasn't bad. I'll admit that. And they made Yamcha sound like Yamcha.
Yeah, he did sound like Yamcha. I was like, wait, he really does sound
Actually,
like
no,
Yamcha.
calling
Hey,
it
I'm
Chatwin.
Yamcha.
Justin Chatwin as Goku. What the beep? No. No.
I will say yes, the guy was good, but I love the fact that because of this movie, the guy who was Piccolo, I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head. But like when
James
he went
Marston. I think James Marston's his name.
I think so.
Yeah.
He went to voice Zamasu, and he went and did so without any charging at all. He did not.
He voices
Yeah, yeah.
Zamasu?
Yes, he voices Zamasu.
Oh.
And he took that
I mean,
role
he
for
did
free.
sound
He
like
did not
Piccolo.
get paid for that role because he wanted to redeem himself for the garbage that he was involved with.
Just think of that. He's
Dang.
the only person from the cast and crew that wanted to redeem himself from that piece of trash movie. Even though, like I said, he was the only like good thing about the movie. He sounded like Piccolo, he acted like Piccolo, but then they switched it up and made like Piccolo's blood instead of whatever. I'm not going to get too far into it. We're going to do a whole episode just about Evolution one day,
Maybe.
and we
yeah.
are going to
Let
we
us
are
know in the
going
comment
to-
section down below if you really want to see see us like talk about that movie.
Yeah, but yeah, the big positive from this is Toriyama hated this so much that it made him come back and
Yeah.
kind of revive
Dragon Ball
and
was
give
gonna
us
come back
Super.
regardless, but because of this movie, he got involved with Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. They made a bunch of changes and
Yeah.
such to to the script, because Toriyama really wanted to make sure that his impact and such was well known, and that's why when we get to Battle of Gods, this is
You think it's A or S?
100%. It's an
S-tier.
S tier. This is no without question.
Now, you put that movie in front of Broly, damn it. That Battle of Gods has a great damn story.
No, you're right. Absolutely. Why? There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
it would.
I don't know why it wasn't going ahead in the first.
All right.
Okay.
I do know one movie that will probably go in front of it.
The only problem with this movie is the fact that we had the Yamamoto designs, but it's not nearly as bad here as it is
It's
with
not
the
as
later
bad
stuff.
as compared to the show, you know. Here, where it
Oh, the
has the
anime
movie
version?
budget, dude. This, honestly, like, oh my god, this made me fall in love with Dragon Ball. This, you don't understand how much this movie means to me. Like, after, like, I was in high school when this came out. Like, what was it, like 2012, 2013? I didn't see it in theaters, but when I got the DVD for my birthday and I watched it, I was like,
You're like,
holy
I rewatched
crap,
it.
this is Dragon Ball. This is
It's like I
OG Dragon
rewatched
Ball
it
Z.
over and over and over.
And it's not just like, oh, Goku has to fight a big, muscular villain.
and
No.
give me power.
Yeah, it wasn't like
I will not let you destroy my world.
Oh my.
yeah, like Beerus wasn't giving off that type of vibe. You could tell he was like real calm and cool, and it didn't seem like he really wanted to destroy everything, but he was using that against Goku to like release his potential. But yeah, and then we get the Super Saiyan God form, and then after that, there's no more use for it.
No,
Yeah,
there's
here's
use
the
for it nowadays.
downside.
Like,
I mean, yeah,
but not
but not as
originally.
much.
This goes into like this other confusing factor about the form that Toei should have consulted Toriyama about. We'll get into that later. This movie like made so many people. I remember seeing this. I was like, "What the heck, Battle of Gods?" And then they show Super Saiyan God. Remember how epic it was? I remember like the fact that Goku was even going to able to turn into that form. Like that was revolutionary at a time. Like, what is this Super Saiyan God form that they got going on?
Yeah. It did pique the hell out of your interest. Like, what's going on here?
This is the beginning of getting into new territory with Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember before I watched the movie, there was like a bunch of fan art of what Super Saiyan God was going to look
The
like.
Super
and stuff
Saiyan
like that.
Golden Super Saiyan 4 type thing.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, is that what it looks like? And I was like, but when I watched the movie, I was like, it was completely like different, unique.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's
I
skinny,
do know-
he has
I-
red hair. He's like has like.
And then they got rid of
I
the skinnier
remember
concept,
when I
right?
saw that, I was like, this is such a weird transformation. Like, this looks like Kaioken. Why is it? I hated it. Now I love it. It's one of my favorite forms that I've ever, in.
Yeah, but
like,
didn't they get rid of that more skinnier look as Super like began and right?
No.
Didn't
No,
they?
no, no,
No,
no.
they still
they
kept
didn't.
They still kept him skinny. They still keep him skinny, especially in Dragon Ball Super Broly. They're definitely skinny.
Oh yeah, Vegeta's really skinny. in
Absolutely.
Super Broly.
Um,
His
I
head,
mean, they
like,
were
bigger,
really
like a
so
skinny.
ball.
I'll go ahead and explain this before we get into Resurrection F and such. The entire factor of Super Saiyan God. So basically, there was an interview that came out with Toriyama before the release of Resurrection F, where basically there was wording that said that Goku would not need to actually use Super Saiyan God anymore because he incorporated it into his base form. I guess there was like something that was like weird about it. So basically, Toei, based off of that interview, they created a whole form for Goku called Saiyan Beyond God, and this was all in the promotional material. And essentially, this is what we presume that Goku and Vegeta were using, like, you know, and such in the actual movie, which is why, like, you know, Goku didn't use the Super Saiyan forms at all and such during the Resurrection F. He just went Super Saiyan Blue and that was it. And a lot of people, for because of that promotional material, thought that we'd never be able to see Super Saiyan again because of just how the Super Saiyan God manifested it and changed his and changed things around, like with how the structure worked. I'm glad that we got to keep we actually got to, you know, have him stay in Super Saiyan.
Bring him back, yeah.
Yeah, because that was something we were really worried about. But no, because of this whole dilemma, it was why, like, you know, in Dragon Ball Super, for the longest time, we never got to see Super Saiyan God until the Tournament of Power, where Goku used that against Dispo. But
Yeah, they kind of like dropped it for a little bit until we got into like super, like really deep into super.
Yeah,
Actually,
the anime like just did not show it. The manga kept showing its appearance from time to time, though. I know they did that in like Universe 6 versus 7, and then I think they showed it off in Goku Black Arc with Vegeta. I think they showed it. Yeah, I don't know. Vegeta went Super Saiyan God for the first time in Goku Black Arc, but like, yeah, the anime just took its time showing this. For honestly, I would have just prefer the Super Saiyan God to be the only God form, because Blue I just don't like Blue. It's so overused.
Yeah.
It just feels like it
Yeah.
just really doesn't really do anything.
It's like what they did with Super Saiyan. You know, they used Super
Personally,
Saiyan a lot.
I think that Blue could have been much more impactful if they were to introduce it at a later point in the arc. Like, I understand like what the purpose is of Blue in particular, but I think and I do think that it is like this. Okay, when I see Super Saiyan Blue, I do feel like this is the natural way of which the characters would have actually, you know, if they were to actually train, they would have actually found it. You know what I mean? Like them training on Beerus's planet and getting accomplishing the form. That's how they would have went about it. But I would have liked to have seen them, like, you know, while they're in the middle of trying to train, they find themselves in this conflict and such. That's where Resurrection F. So maybe they like when they were training on Beerus's planet, like they had clues as to how to unlock Super Saiyan Blue, but they didn't get into that. But when they were fighting Frieza, let's say that Goku and Vegeta were in Super Saiyan God. In the middle of fighting Frieza, Goku would have figured out how to tap into Blue, and I think that would have been dope, because if they're already going to be homaging the Namek Saga, the way that they would introduce Super Saiyan Blue in that movie would have been a fantastic homage, I think, to Super Saiyan and such. Like when that was first done, I think that would have absolutely made the form a lot more appealing and such than how they went about it in the movie.
That's the biggest flaw with Blue, is that there's no build up to it. It's just kind of comes out of nowhere, you know. It's just basically there to sell toys.
Yeah. Well, since I will say that Dragon Ball Super did a lot better, like when it came to like actually building it up, because we saw a lot more of that training with Goku and Vegeta on there. But but
if we're just talking about the movies specifically, there's little to no build up to it.
Yeah, since we're talking about Resurrection F already, I'm gonna go ahead and put this at C tier personally. I don't know if I would put it like.
I actually liked the story better in Super.
Yeah, the story was better in Super, but the animation was better in the movie. I personally.
Oh yeah, because it's a freaking movie, you know. Forget about it.
He's also got Hisha's favorite song.
It also has your guy's favorite version of a Gohan.
What?
Your favorite? He was saying, "Oh, it has your favorite version of Gohan."
Everybody hated that, and then didn't Gohan get beat up by Ginyu?
He got one shot at.
Wait a second, hold on a second. You're saying that the story's better in the series, but that's where they literally also did that whole thing where Piccolo died. again, and it was such a dumb rehash and such of the Saiyan saga.
What I liked is how they brought Ginyu back. This one, they made him more, I guess, comedic. But
That's a hot take.
I don't
my
know,
dude.
man.
You got,
I don't.
That's a hot take. I don't know about that.
I
You
don't
might
know.
be
I
alone on that
completely
take.
forgot about some of these things.
it's
I do like
because-
Gotank's involvement, just because Frieza says.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we're
yeah,
just
yeah,
talking
for
about
sure,
the
they know
movie
about them, yeah.
specifically. Stay on target.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do-do-do-do-do. But also, what I also hated about the movie, it's like, yes, we're gonna have Vegeta finally freaking win one, and he didn't.
Yeah, I did not like that at all.
Yeah,
Because
and
it
then
just
I-
felt so good seeing Vegeta finally smack down the guy who killed his father, humiliated him on Namek, and destroyed his planet, making him one of the last few survivors of his race. So
And they're like,
yeah, we're not gonna give you that win. We'll give you a beatdown. But Goku's gonna come.
I used to feel the same way until I understood the fact that Dragon Ball nowadays is a catalyst for martial arts, and how the ego and such is for for Vegeta, the way that he goes about doing things is what's frowned upon. So that's why like you end up with like these instances of Vegeta constantly losing because of the fact that the catalyst is like an example. If you go about it the way that Vegeta is going about things, you're not going to be successful. But if you go about it the way that Goku does, then you'll be successful. Which is like
Ultra Instinct, Ultra
Got it. So I should have
Ego.
let my worst enemy stay alive and come back multiple times and endanger the planet. Gotcha.
And, I mean, it was cool that Frieza had a new form and he was like on their level and stuff. That was all right. That wasn't bad. Like it wasn't the best movie. It wasn't the worst movie. It's just in the middle.
I do feel here's my thing. The one thing I do think that was a bit much is the power leap. 4 months for Frieza to train, like I get it, he's a mutant, but just this insane amount of power leap, like till this day, it makes me really wish that we would have seen more of Frieza's training and such. I would have liked to see like the depths of how he went about it, and I think that would have made it
remember,
it better.
he never trained a day in his life, which it's like, oh, all right. So
Yeah,
the
no,
dude
that-
trained for
that
4
I
months and he
understand.
got a pretty big power boost. I mean, that's fine. But yeah, being able to see it would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, because you had
But-
Goku and Vegeta
Though
training.
it probably. Sorry, go ahead.
Didn't we see some of it in the anime?
No,
Or
there
was it just
the only
him
thing that we
training
saw,
the other
there was
dude?
this one picture. There was this one picture that we had seen from Toyotaro, and it was basically Frieza in a tracksuit running and then drinking water, and then he
Oh
keeps
no!
running.
Wait, they did. Okay,
Yeah.
it was like a quick
was a
30-second scene,
yeah,
but it
yeah.
showed Frieza beating the guy, beating the crap out of that one guy. I forget what his
The
name
bald,
was. Like
the bald alien
the
dude.
bald
that
head.
Ginyu
Yeah,
took over.
But
yeah.
the thing is with that, how are you going to get stronger beating up someone that's weaker than you? I don't see how
But-
that's productive.
That's not, well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. He was a punching bag. If Frieza was to punch anything else, it wouldn't be able to work. That's why he needed to beat that dude up. Whatever his name
Yeah.
is. Because
I know,
he
but
actually
it's
was
so
able
weird.
to take him a
Ginyu's
little bit
like,
better.
Ginyu's like, this is my chance.
This is why I kind of think like if they brought back King Cold in Resurrection F and King Cold trained his son, that would have been kind of interesting. But no, they fumbled on that one.
Yeah. Hopefully they make cooler canon.
Nah,
and
King
have
Cold
him-
was way too much of a coward. They showed that off with him in the future.
Yeah,
films,
he
though. That would
was.
have been a
I would
difference
like
in
to
character.
see.
But
I
it
would
would
like
be
to
kind
see
of cool.
cooler.
Well, I'm not a writer for Toei,
Well,
so-
imagine if the Black Frieza arc, he finds Cooler and they're training together, and that's how he was able to get the Black Frieza form. I mean, he was training for what, like 10 years or something, Frieza, to get that.
Okay, this next movie, I'm gonna say it. To me, this is the best Dragon Ball movie. It goes ahead of Battle of Gods. Dragon Ball Super Broly. Dragon Ball Super
I just
Broly.
called it Super, yeah, Broly, yeah, that's my favorite movie. Yeah.
Like yes.
They retcon the hell out of Broly. They make him. He was just not lost at first, but he has great character development compared to the original Broly. He's not just a mindless monster, and it's cool that we have a OG Saiyan now currently still around in Dragon Ball, and now it's like he's part of the crew. But I mean, we're talking about just the movie here. The movie was really good, really good.
Okay, so Sham, okay, just making sure. Do we all agree that this is like goes ahead of Battle of Gods? Like, what do you think? Like this. Like this movie does a lot. You end up seeing like a new rehashed version of the Bardock storyline.
I definitely put
Yeah.
it in S tier, but oh god, that's very because Battle of Gods kind of feels like a very contained story that you could just don't have to worry about watching anything before.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, there's the main
Anything you have to with
Yeah,
Dragon
yeah.
Ball now. Yeah.
You have to watch all
But
of
I'm
Dragon
saying,
Ball. Okay, I would
Yeah.
I would argue that Dragon Ball Super Broly kind of catches you up on like previous events too, like when you go ahead and watch it because they give you a lot more.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true. Never mind.
Yeah.
I guess
I
what
mean,
I'm saying is like as someone who's looking for a movie that's like canon and you don't have to worry about anything like anything else. I don't know. I was going somewhere with this. I don't know. I forget it. But anyway, yes, S tier. It's just I'm conflicted of whether if I like this more than Battle of Gods.
The animation is just absolutely fantastic. You know, you get that sort of Bardock storyline. You also get like the character design sheets, which is some of the best modern Dragon Ball designs. I like this more than Superhero.
They
No,
switched it up for this movie, I remember, yeah, and everybody was like, most people liked it. I know some people didn't, but I liked it.
I loved it. I will say that it did. I wish that some characters were a little bit more muscular, like Goku and Vegeta. But it's a gag scene. You know what can we do in some of those instances?
Yeah, yeah.
But then
they weren't as
Gogeta.
small.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
the
yeah,
inclusion of
Making him
Gogeta.
canon. Yeah, yeah.
And then they had
Yeah.
some of the best soundtracks I've like that. Yeah,
Yes.
that we've ever heard in any Dragon Ball. This is so good. I don't know. I don't know if I'd put it ahead of the Kikuchi score or some of the. But it's like, man, I love this soundtrack. It's so much better than Super.
Yeah,
It's very refreshing to listen to.
And then you have the songs that just keep saying Broly and Gogeta. But
Yeah,
I really
that was
like
good.
those. They were
Gogeta!
Yeah, it was really good. Like really good songs.
The inspiration that Yamamoto.
Oh,
The inspiration that what was his name? Yamamuro or why can't I think of music composer's name? I want to say Yamamuro, but no, he's the character designer.
Out of all the Super movies, this was the one I was most excited about.
I just wish they
So, like,
didn't
go
spoil
see.
so much in the trailers because it was like hard to not get spoiled, and I was like, oh my god, did they just spoil Gogeta for me?
They did, and it was like one of those I wanted to go in there and pretend I didn't see anything. One thing I really remembered like getting spoiled over was the Stardust Breaker. And this was because of Dokkan. I was watching a Dokkan YouTuber, and they literally showed the super attack for Blue Gogeta. I was like, oh, it's everything from the trail. And then the Stardust Breaker happens after that. I was like, what? Like, dude, this movie had
The first
so
trailer
much
was
that I
good.
wanted.
Because
The
you
first
didn't
trailer
know
was
who
great.
the villain was. Yeah, you didn't know who the villain was either.
Yeah, oh my
I mean,
gosh,
people
dude.
speculated, but you didn't know, and then eventually we find out it was Broly. But
I remember when the Super movies were coming out. Well, from Battle of the Gods to Broly, like there was so much speculation because we were like in the unknown. It's like, wait, what's
Yeah.
going on? Who's the villain?
Like, who's
What-
Boots
what-
or
what's the
Nose?
story about?
I also
Alternate
like
universe or
the whole
something?
pelt. I like the whole pelt thing too. Like it's a piece of clothing that he's wearing, but there's a story to it. You know,
God,
there
that
was
made
a
me
story
so
about
sad.
yeah, there was a story about something he's freaking wearing. But there was a lot of like mini plots in it that it all added up at the end. And then
It
instead
did.
of Broly being super evil, killing Paragus, Frieza does it to make Broly go like insanely berserk, which was cool. And then, as we were talking about before, he was like breaking dimensions or something, or breaking universes or something, as him and Gogeta are fighting. But it was such a fun movie, a great story. The character development for Broly was just really well done.
Mm-hmm. Now
But,
let's get into
what-
Dragon Ball Superhero.
This
this
is
is-
probably my least favorite out of all the Super movies. Well,
Out of all the modern ones, yeah.
yeah, I don't know with the Frieza one. Maybe
No, I think
It's cool.
Resurrection F's my least favorite personally, but I mean, I like Frieza, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying now.
This-
Thinking about it, because it had the cool transformations, and
Mhm.
I'd put this at A tier. Me personally.
I'm stuck between A or S tier because, to be honest, why I like this movie so much is because we finally get Gohan and Piccolo in the limelight again,
yeah, that
and
is
it's
true.
not a Goku and Vegeta like story again. And this time we
Yeah.
see Gohan and Piccolo do something,
Yeah.
and Gohan gets development, whether you want to argue it's like the fifth time that he gets this development of him waking the up and being powerful. That's so many F words you're going to censor, but
here's my 2 cents on this. Okay, so it's like, I think that like Gohan getting the beast form, I think it makes sense for his character. I think that it he absolutely is deserving of like, getting the base form. But personally, I think that there should have been I think a little bit more focus and less subtlety as to how Gohan would go about getting the form. And that's what I think it just needs, like, because basically anyone who I talk about when we talk about the setup for this form, they say, okay, well, all the setups are already in Z, and it's like they're not wrong. Even in my own stop motion series, I had Gohan get a transformation and such, which, like,
What did you call it?
I think I just called it what did I call it? I don't even remember. Super Mystic Gohan, because I was thinking, it would be like which was his ultimate form or mystic form combined with Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
And it was basically taking that premise.
Good.
I understood that the premise was that the ultimate form certainly had more of it had more, like, potential, I think. Yes, and there can definitely be upgrades because we hadn't seen Gohan get angry with it. And my whole thing was that, okay, well, Gohan getting angry combined with the ultimate, it would be like Super Saiyan getting combined until they retconned it, until, like, and so it's not that I don't understand the fact that form in particular, didn't have setup, but I think that I think that personally, Gohan getting that form, I would have had the plot of the movie, I think, just be a little bit more focused in on Gohan rather than him being reactive. But at the same time, I also understand that Gohan is a reactive character. He's not a character that drives the plot forward in the same way. And so that's why,
like the whole Cell Max thing.
The Cell Max thing, I didn't have as much of a problem with as other people.
I didn't really care for that. Yeah, I didn't care for it. I wish there was, like, maybe like a new android or something he could have made. You don't always have to rehash villains or bring them back all the time. It's. I feel like they should have brought something new in, and maybe made it much stronger than both Gammas combined, and then that's what may go into Beast Gohan. I mean, even though
it's
Cell
crazy if
Max
they made like a
that.
revised Android 16 and he was a villain and like Gohan couldn't fight him.
That would have been more interesting.
Ooh, that would have been interesting.
Because he's like, oh, I can't fight you. I saw you die. And he's like, and Android 16's full on Terminator mode.
And
he's
he's
like,
conflicted.
You are the son of Goku. I must kill you.
Yeah, and he's very conflicted. Yeah, that would have been interesting.
There you go, internet. I gave you more fan fiction. Go do something with that. Just give me credit.
I mean, it's definitely one of the better Adwald movies. It's
and the soundtrack I really like. Dun 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 dun.
And you did have those cool scenes with them fighting the Gammas, especially in the rain with Gohan. That was really cool to watch.
Dope.
Gave me more future Gohan PTSD. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah. And this is the first time we see Broly come back into the picture as well, and you're like, oh shit. Even though we just see them for a second, but you see he's over there training with Goku and Vegeta. But the big plus or good thing about the movie is it focused more on Piccolo and Gohan. They finally have new forms, so they can be on the same goddamn level as Goku and Vegeta. Join them now when they fight.
What? Thinking about it, this is okay. Like, the more I think about it, okay, I'll put it at S tier, but I'll put it behind. He's
fanboying.
I think I'll put it behind. I'll put it behind Wrath of the Dragon, Future Reborn, and the original Broly movie. I think that this is like. I like this. I like Wrath of the Dragon more.
Better than really.
No, I'm putting.
I think the only downside for
no,
me for
no. Look at the list, Sean. I'm putting Wrath of the Dragon ahead of Superhero.
I know.
You think Superhero is better than Wrath of the Dragon?
Now thinking about it, yeah.
I honestly I would kind of agree too. To be honest.
What about ahead of Fusion Reborn?
I don't know.
That's a difficult one.
Yeah, I feel like the ones you have in the front should be there because what's that? You have Superheroes 5.
I think you know what. I'm gonna say this. I think superheroes. Oh, you know what? Oh God, that's tough, man.
This is
The
tough.
thing with my only flaw with superheroes is that at the beginning it gets a little exposition heavy with the red ribbon, like the catching up with in many years ago this kid and blah blah blah, and then we Dr.
Yeah.
Dro, your grandfather. Like it was a little just too much. Okay, we get.
I disagree. That's actually a point I completely disagree with, because that's like necessary. Because
I
think
was
about how
fine with
long
that,
it's been
yeah.
since they did anything with Cell and like the Red Ribbon Army and such at this point.
Yeah, I just
I
didn't
know,
like
but
the
it was
Cell Max thing.
I don't know. Maybe I just need to watch it again. But it just felt like he was just like, oh, last
Yeah.
time on Dragon Ball
I-
Z. If
I-
you haven't watched it,
Plus
I
that
had to
scene, I
rewatch
liked it
it
even
to
more
like
because
it more.
that's one of the most 2D intensive scenes and such throughout the entire movie that like really looked good. I love the 2D.
no,
Yeah.
I'm not like it definitely looked good. But I'm just saying, like, does it take away like you spending time on exposition and recapping? Like, does that take away from this main story? I don't know. I
No,
have
it
to
adds
watch
to
it
it.
again.
It's just a
Not
couple
really,
minutes.
yeah.
It's just like 1 or
Yeah.
2 minutes and such at the beginning, and that was fine.
Yeah, it wasn't like
That's
the
why
Broly movie.
I'm not saying it's like I really hate it. It's just like maybe it could have just
the
been done a
Broly-
little bit better. But
Like the Broly movie had like 15 minutes of flashback with all that. This was only like a couple minutes just to catch
If
people
this
up,
is-
maybe who if you forgot or something.
Here's
but-
how I see it. So, because this
Dragon
movie
Ball fans,
takes
don't
place,
forget.
because this movie takes place like after the Moro and Granola arcs, and we literally
Yeah,
saw
which
Gohan
we
like
don't-
being much stronger in those arcs. I think that the one thing about this movie I don't like is the fact that it's kind of jarring that Gohan is already like in this sort of weakened state again, like how he was in Resurrection F. I wasn't really the biggest fan of like that whole thing. So I would at the very least like let him just I mean I will say this, when it comes to Resurrection F, at least in Resurrection F he can still go into Super Saiyan. He had to have that get re-triggered for him, and so I feel like that's
Yeah,
why the
it's
gap
like
between Gohan being at his weakest point and then to the strongest point, I think just made it too jarring and such when it came to the usage of his anger.
Yeah.
wait, did you say Resurrection F? He had an easier time going Super Saiyan.
In the movie version, yeah, he did. 100% he
Didn't
did.
he say something?
It's
Didn't he
like-
say something where he's
like
like,
he-
"Oh, I
he
don't even know
keeps
if I can go
forgetting.
Super Saiyan."
But then
Yeah.
he
Did
did
he
when
have a line that said?
but then he did in the middle of the fight. He didn't
Yeah.
have to have his
But
anger
that's the
triggered
thing.
and such in
That's
order
the
to.
thing with Gohan. They keep making him forget because he doesn't really fight anymore, and then they're like, "All right, let's stop this." What part of the manga was going on during when this movie came out? The Moro arc. That's something I didn't like either. They
I
skipped
think it
2
was-
arcs and
I
did
think it was
this.
a granola. No,
Yeah, it was
like
a
at the
granola
beginning of
arc,
the
yeah.
granola.
Was it granola? Okay, that's something that's weird too. So they skip 2 arcs. So now if we ever
That's
get
why a
Super
lot
2,
of fans is still ticked off that we haven't had any Dragon Ball Super anime content yet. You do a flash forward in a movie,
yeah,
and it's like,
2
wait, hold
arcs
on.
ahead, and it's like, what? I think they just wanted to show off Piccolo and Gohan's new transformation, which is fine. They wanted to focus it on 2 other characters, which I'm fine with.
Could
But-
you imagine how it would be if they showed off Beast, Gohan, Orange Piccolo in the manga first? Oh my god. Oh my
Yeah.
god. It would break the internet more than anything else. It would probably
Yeah,
be
'cause
like when Goku went Super Saiyan for the first time.
Like when
I mean, it broke the
and
internet
like when
pretty heavily.
When
Here's
Vegeta went Ultra Ego, people were losing their minds.
here's my, you know what? No, I'm sorry. Here's the even biggest problem with this movie. We haven't even tackled this yet. We had to wait 3 months for this movie to release in the U.S. And then
Yeah,
that
really sucks.
this movie ended up being the most pirated Dragon
Yeah,
Ball
that's
movie
how
of
I
all
watched
time.
it.
And then Toei
That's how
took
I-
their
I
money
mean, I didn't
and then
watch
went
it
after
like
these
that.
people, and then they took legal action against it, bro. All
Like,
that
when
money.
it-
No, hold on. Think about it for a second. All that money that they had used to take legal action against these people pirating this movie, they probably spent more money doing that than how much it would have been for them to make this a
Yeah.
simultaneous release
Yeah.
with the U.S. Plus, they had extra time
Yeah.
too when the movie because remember when the movie got delayed and such? I think this was because of COVID. They got extra time, like the animators got extra time to go ahead and animate this. That could have also been extra time for them to make a simultaneous release with other countries and such.
When it comes
Yeah, I
to
don't-
Dragon Ball, it should release like worldwide at the same time with how freaking popular it is. Like, come on, bro. They
Because
just did that with Demon
doesn't
Slayer.
Resurrection F and Broly release at the same time as Japan?
No. With
No?
Resurrection F, we had to wait like I think
yeah,
like
we
5,
did,
6
yeah.
months or so.
But I
Dragon
feel
Ball
like
Super
Broly
Broly.
kind of released.
With Battle of Gods, we had to wait a year, and then
Yeah,
Dragon Ball
that
Super Broly, we
sucked.
only had to wait 1 month. That was easier.
yeah, yeah. I remember that.
But that's
But
what
yeah,
made it
it's
even more
like-
frustrating because like with Dragon Ball Super Broly, it felt like they were advancing, and then with Dragon Ball Super Superhero, we're all of a sudden like not doing the simultaneous stuff. Like what happened?
Yeah, like honestly, like I feel like I feel like Toei and like Funimation, like if you're gonna release a new Dragon Ball movie, at least give the U.S. at least like maybe a month, a month, schedule release or something like that.
Like
That
with
way, so
Broly, yeah.
Funimation can get out their dub and everything like that. Some time for because
I
I know
don't-
you have to get the the licensing fees, licensing, and you gotta get your actors and.
I
You
wouldn't
you
even
gotta
mind
make the
waiting
cuts.
for the dub. I would watch
Yeah.
the sub first. That's what
It's
I
just
do with
that
Demon Slayer.
you don't make like the rest of the world wait like a year or
Yeah.
like more than 3 months.
People
like,
don't
that's
mind
ridiculous.
it. People don't mind it. Most people watch their own language movies with subtitles now these days. It's just like a basic thing.
Well,
people
yeah,
do.
just
I
release
do.
it at the same time. Like I don't know. Like
Yeah.
a certain
You know,
Godzilla movie.
There's one other thing
Yeah,
about this
exactly.
movie. There's that not a lot of people talk about this, and it makes and it's kind of strange thinking about it. This is the only I think this is the only modern day Dragon Ball Super movie that did not have like an inserted song from an outsourced music composer. So like in Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, we had like with when I'm talking about lyrical songs like "Be Brave and Give Me Power."
Oh, from Flow.
Yeah,
And then
Hero
the
from Flow.
Broly
And then
and Gogeta song.
no, that's no, we're not no with Dragon Ball Super Broly, it would be Blizzard. Break the ice, break the ice, break the ice now.
So this
and then
didn't have
and then in Resurrection F we had Twara Frieza. Yeah, this didn't have any of that type of thing.
They gave
Yeah,
you more
Maximum
like
Homo-
theatrical type music with this then.
Yeah, it
Is
was
what you're
definitely
saying.
geared
Yeah.
more so towards being like this movie was definitely geared more to being like a US like superhero blockbuster type of film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it definitely has like there's an Avengers like Infinity War reference, which is like how Gamma 2 got dusted, like Mr. Stark I don't feel so good type of moment.
Yeah.
And then like
What?
Cell Max literally being like the big bad at the end of the movie, like how they had it in Shang-Chi Legend of the Ten Rings, or it's like literally how any villain like they always have like the big crazy villain, or like maybe Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice, like they had Doomsday at the end of that.
Yeah.
That-
Oh my God, Cell Max
Yeah.
is like a doomsday. Oh my God,
He is a
Oh
lot.
my God.
They all had to team up and fight him.
But let's talk about
But I
actually
mean-
like what. Okay, this movie Superhero did take a lot from Bio Broly. The fact that the main cast and crew went to the actual headquarters of which the big bad was going to be at. So you end up having a case where it's like the experiment is the thing that gets unleashed when it's incomplete. Bio Broly was an incomplete experiment, like an incomplete project, and that's where he went loose and such. You can say the same with Cell Max. Then you also had the more quote unquote completer experiments, but they did have something like that in Bio Broly, but Gamma 1 and 2 had fundamentally far more character and such. And also the character like Carmine or Carmine, whatever they call him, like he looks a lot more like some of the other characters, I believe. Actually, sorry, no, not him. Magenta looks like that dude from the Broly Second Coming and Bio Broly. You know what I'm talking about? The dude with like the staff and such, with like doing those weird rituals.
Is Magenta? Well, I get their names mixed up. Was Magenta the son of the former Red Ribbon president, or was that Dr. Giroud's grandkid?
No, so he was okay. So Magenta is the son of Commander Commander Red, and
that was the leader of
Violet.
the Red Ribbon.
Yeah. So you remember
Okay.
remember the staff, like the character Violet from the Red Ribbon Army?
Yes, vaguely.
So basically, him and I guess like her and Red like had the kid that ended up being Magenta.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
something
see what
I
you-
never
okay.
fully understood. I'm like, who is he
and,
again?
and they confirmed this too, because he literally, like, on his desk, Magenta had a picture of his parents together, so which also confirms that piece of lore.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a lot of pieces of lore confirmed in this one. Got
Yeah.
to see Android 16 when he was human, or I guess his human self,
In
whatever.
in 21
And
too.
his, Yeah, Android 21. Holy crap.
Yeah.
She's canon.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
Well,
but,
basically,
yeah, let's.
let us know what you guys think about this list down in the comment section below. Is there anything that you would change regarding this list, the position of everything on here, like what the rankings of the movies? Let us know. Definitely am excited to hear your thoughts on this.
Maybe next time we'll do next episode we'll do the specials, or
The
let us know
arcs.
which movies you want us to rank
Yeah.
next. It doesn't even have to be Dragon Ball. We can do Star Wars, Marvel movies, whatever. Just throw them down in the comments below.
Absolutely. And Champ, we have to watch Path to Power. Like, you would absolutely
Yes,
love
we
this.
do.
Like, as a matter of fact, after this podcast, if you have time, I'll stream it for you right in here.
I gotta eat and pee, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta run out.
Maybe I'll stream it in my server. All right. With that being said, we'll see you guys in the comment section.
Till then.